Yo, what is up guys? Countess just released the Monster Balance patch pre-notice here, and it's actually pretty hype. A lot of people were expecting a really small balance patch here, myself included, since SWC is just around the corner. But they actually released a huge, insane, sick balance patch. I'm actually really excited to get right into this balance patch here, so let's go. So as always, it's Countess here to walk through the monster balancing patch we'll be working on carrying soon. We'll be paying close attention to user opinions, and this time it actually feels kind of true. You know what? This is actually a really nice balance patch. I did read through it, but I will be giving you guys my opinion here, obviously. So first of all, we have a Carcano nerf. They're making the defense break one turn again. I guess, I mean, this is obviously a massive nerf. Carcano, we'll see how much of we'll see him in defense meta. But making it one turn defense break, he can still, you know, obviously on his turn, he'll make the defense break before his attack, so he can still get massive damage. But the follow-up is going to be harder to have there for the Carcano. Then we have the Howl nerf as well. We're only going to be looking at the Secondary Awakening, right? That's the only one we care about. But the skill 2 heal cooldown goes to 3 turns. That's actually a huge nerf. Pretty big for a siege as well, but mainly so for RTA. For RTA, obviously, if you are reset, now you cannot violent proc into your second skill anymore. And that is huge. That is a huge nerf to Lulu. I don't know, Lulu may have just been killed off of the RTA meta. I am not sure, but that is not looking good for Lulu here. And then since that's also nerfed the Fire and Dark one, they had to buff the Fire and Dark ones here, but these don't seem very impactful. The Fire one now has heals a bit more with the skill 1, so when he uses a skill 3 and cleanses and then uses skill 1 to heal, I guess you get bigger heals with that now to compensate for the lack of heals in the skill 2, and the Dark one gets a shield based on its own HP instead of based on the attack. So pretty small buffs there. So overall, I think the Lulu family definitely took a hit there. But that's not all the nerfs we have. We have Onimusha Every single Onimusha skill 1 damage reduced by 19%. 19%. That is a massive amount, dude. 19% is a lot. Wow. That is pretty crazy. You were doing 10Ks, now you're doing 8.1Ks. That is a big decrease. I'm not sure. I mean, yeah, 90%. Okay. Stop saying 90%. But yeah, I don't know if that's gonna kill Onimushas in RTA or in Siege. We will see. But then boom! Onimusha wind! Fuki! An additional nerf. Inflicts additional damage by 20% is now 15%. So he gets another 25% damage reduction from his passive. And obviously his passive is where he gets most of his damage from. So this decreased damage by 19% doesn't affect him that much. But then the fact that he gets now 25% less damage from the passive. Yeah, I don't know, all the Onimushas may be dead, and the Dark one also taking a nerf. Damage increased by 50%, now increased as 30%. So that is a pretty huge nerf as well. That is a 40% nerf to his damage here as well. That is pretty crazy. And then nope, not done yet. We have a Fire Bison or Carnal nerf here as well. Each attack now decreases attack by 30%. It's changed to 15%. I think if this actually makes it each attack, it's actually a buff. Because right now how Cardinal works is the first hit decreases attack bar, second hit slows, third hit stuns. And the first and second hit are actually 100% activation, right? So if they actually made it 15% attack bar for every hit, I mean, then technically it's a buff because they just got to 45%. But Kanto as a skill word description is pretty poor. So I hope it's just the first hit that actually, you know, decreases 15% attack bar. Even then, it's not a massive nerf to Cardinal. So I think Cardinal is still going to be very strong. I think they nerfed the wrong part of his kit. I would have liked to seen a skill 2 nerf. But you know what? We'll take it. We'll take it. We will take it. And then I guess we have another nerf here. Light Valkyria. What? They're nerfing Chroma? Yes, I mean, this will make sense later. But yeah, they're reducing the chance of being allies receiving critical hit from 30% to 15%. So that is a pretty big nerf. But then you read down. And all of a sudden you realize, you know what, that's not so bad. The next buff increases the enemy's target skill done by 1 turn with a 20% chance. So now all Valkyria's skill 1s has a 1 turn reset with a 20% chance. Okay, 20% chance, I mean, that's going to happen less than a Vio proc, but then we all know how often Vio procs happen, so not bad, not bad. I mean, still not great. But I think especially for Chroma, this is huge, because Chroma obviously cannot be CC'd, and yeah, her main job is to disrupt the opposing CC team. So she now does that better with the skill 1, and the skill 2 also getting buffed. Skill 2 going down to a 3-turn cooldown. And I believe this is before before the skill up, so I think it's actually now a 2-turn cooldown, right? I'm pretty sure the Valor Valkyrie now has a Water, Fire, and Light Valkyrie now have a 2-turn cooldown on the skill too. So Chroma's going to have it silenced on 2-turn cooldown. The Vanessa is going to have a defense break on a 2-turn cooldown, and then I guess, you know, Camilla, yeah, slow on a 2-turn cooldown. No one cares. Well, that's not all. We have also a Katarina buff here. So Katarina skill 2 now inflicts now no longer heals, but still gets the invisibility and resets the cooldown of the skill 3 if the enemy is killed. I'm not sure if you always get the invisibility based on the working. It becomes invisible for 1 turn and resets the cooldown time of Sword Destroyer if the enemy is killed. I believe you still only get the invisibility if you kill the enemy. Otherwise, that would be pretty nice if you always get it. But then the cooldown of the skill 3, which obviously is the big nuke from Katarina, is going to be reset if you kill someone. Or refreshed, rather. So, a Violent Katarina could be pretty nice. Could be pretty nice. You skill 2, get the invisibility, so you now self-buffing your skill 3. And then you get the skill 3 off right after, since it's going to be up always if you kill something. And then Trinity also getting a similar buff. You also get your skill 3 off cooldown if you kill something with the skill 2. Water Mage now gets a 1 Soulstone when the battle begins, so I guess you basically have 1 revive to start the battle. That's not bad. That is not bad, because Water Mage, if you get the ball rolling, she's pretty crazy. Right? You get the ball rolling, you get 3 stacks on her, you get a couple stacks on her, then all of a sudden you need to be killed, like, you just need to be killed forever. And you just get the ball rolling, it's really hard to come back from that. So now starting with 1 Soulstone so that you can get the ball rolling is a pretty nice buff for Water Mage. Maybe we'll be seeing more of her in RTA. Wind Mage, however, doesn't seem that crazy. It used to increase attack bar by 5% and up to 500%, right? Now you can attack and defense by 10% up to 300%. So overall, I guess you do get more stats at 600% total, right? You get 300 attack, 300 defense. But, and you get stacks faster, but still, like, it doesn't seem that crazy. Maybe it is. I guess a Fire Monkey also. Actually, Fire Monkey only gets stack bar, doesn't he? But yeah, this could be kind of cool. I'm not sure exactly how this will play out, but we will have to wait and see. We also have a Archangel buff here. Fermion and Belajul. Punishment. The skill 2 is getting a buff. Now, it decreases the defense for 1 turn 50% chance. So half the time, you're getting a 1 turn defense break. I think this gets applied after the damage, right? So it's not that crazy. You would need to like Violent proc to make use of this, or I guess you could use a setup for another unit. But it doesn't seem too crazy. And they also lower the dot to only 2 turns now. So you actually do get a lower dot. This actually could be a nerf even. Because half the time you don't get the defense break, and then you still get a and then you get a lower dot, so you actually lose out on the damage. But usually it's a buff, right? So you can land the defense break. Then also they do buff the other Archangel skill 2s as well. Now they get a defense buff. Okay, so heal and defense buff. No cleanse like the Lulu, but does get a defense buff for 2 turns now. Not bad. The Water and Light Unicorns also got a buff. Now their skill 2 in the Unicorn form gets a 2-turn provoke with a 75% chance. I really would like them to see up this provoke chance to 100. I think I almost prefer a 1-turn. Actually, no. No, 2 turns with 75 is still better than 1 turn with 100. I think. Yeah, 2-turn provoke is pretty nice, especially for RT. You actually cannot proc out a 2-turn provoke, right? You can only get 1 violent proc. So, but then no one uses John anyway, so like, is 2-turn provoke that good? I don't know. But this is a pretty nice buff. I mean, no one like ever uses this skill in the unicorn form, so maybe this will actually cause some people to, or persuade some people to use that. Also, Helena Fire Unicorn getting a buff here. Now it recovers the HP by 20% and increases the attack bar by 20%. I believe this is when you attack. Yeah, when you attack on your turn. So I would assume the increased attack bar by 20% is also when you attack on your turn. So now after you transform back from Helena, you hit someone, you get 20% HP and you get 20% attack bar. So you're actually off to your next turn sooner, which is nice because Helena right now is typically too slow. It's just going to get controlled and not going to do anything. So now you can actually get that 20% attack bar. Maybe get your next turn faster. So maybe you don't need a violent proc as much now. The Light Unicorn also getting a buff. Now, or may change. I guess it's not necessarily a buff. Decrease the chance of being inflicted with a critical hit by 50% yourself. So you lose the anti-crit on yourself, but you give it to all your allies for 15%. The same as the Chroma now, since the Chroma got nerfed. I guess overall this is still a buff, because I believe this ally includes herself. So if you have 4 units, technically you have a 60% combined chance of not receiving critical hit. And it's typically better to protect your allies than the unicorn itself, because it's rarely the first target. Actually, maybe. But yeah, this is I would say a buff. I would count this as a light unicorn buff as well. And then we have the dark unicorn, also change. But this is pretty much a buff as well. It reflects 30% damage back to the enemy. Now it reflects 20% to everyone. So you can like counter AoE cleave with a Helena now, because like someone hits it, the damage is gonna go to everyone, which is kind of scary. But I don't know. I guess that also makes it better, since her skill 2 is an AoE, so it helped. Alexandra, Dark Unicorn, is going to be kind of scary at cleaving down opponents here. Next up, we have a Water and Light Pioneer skill 2 buff. Inflicts damage proportional to max HP now by 20% of your max HP. I don't know what that means. Is it like a flat amount? So you have 50,000 HP, you do 10,000 damage? Or, yeah, I actually don't know what that means. So is that the same as Zeraf? Like, you can still crit? Like Zeraf losing half his HP and then dealing damage proportional to that? I don't know. I think that's what that is. So it's like a 40% of his Zeraf nuke, but then single target. I don't know. I mean, I would assume it's a buff. I would assume that it's a buff, but I have no clue. We also have the other pioneers, including Chiwu, getting a buff. Wow. I mean, it's a damage buff only. So the skill 2, North Star Wisdom, now does 13% more damage. That is quite a bit more damage. But yeah, Chiwu buff. Not bad, not bad. I like that. Then we have the Wind Pioneer Pung Bake buff here as well. The damage inflicted on the others is increased by 30% to 50% if your first attack kills enemy target. So now you can nuke some random unit and you get 50% more damage than everyone else. That is, I think this is to a point where you actually can like one-shot almost any team. I think the Punk Bake is going to be pretty insane for Arena Rush. But then again, I'm an Arena player, so I don't know. And his skill 2 damage also got increased. So I think Punk Bake is going to be something for Arena. But like I said, I don't do Arena, I don't really know. Dark Dragon buff. Inflict damage by 8%. There we go, come to us. We did it. There's an 8% damage buff that we're all looking for. Wait, what the hell? I mean, it's actually not bad. It is an AoE cleave skill, so actually a damage buff here is quite significant. And they actually add an effect too, where inflict damage, which ignores all effects that resist death. So I think it's gonna go by Triana passive, it's gonna go by Miho passives, it's gonna go by... Actually, already went by Vanessa passive because, you know, you can't revive. But yeah, this could also be a pretty good Arena offense cleave unit now. I don't know. We will see if people actually start using the Dark Dragon here. Next up, we have a Light Pioneer Puff here. What is his name? Nigong. Yes, so he gets a Darien passive now by reducing like the damage dealt on allies by 15% if your skill 3, the revive, is on cooldown. So after you revive someone, you actually get like a Darien passive, 15% damage reduction on that unit as well. So it's I mean, it's not a crazy buff, but it's not bad. I mean, it is something. It revives at a quite low HP, so getting that 15% less damage on that unit could make the difference here. We have a Water Sulfate buff also. I don't even know her name. Actually, I do, Lumirisha. So her skill 3, now I actually don't know the cooldown of it. Because like no one ever uses this unit. I think it's a pretty low cooldown. It's a 3-turn, maybe it's a 4 or 3-turn cooldown. So now it's a 2 or 3-turn cooldown. After you fully heal a target, if there's no debuffs cleansed off of that unit. So that actually, if it's a 2-turn cooldown, that actually could be something. You can like fully heal a unit every other turn. If you're just not cleansing anything. So this is actually, and she does have the skill 2 resetting skill as well. So actually Water Sulfate could be something in RTA. I don't know, I may be looking to use that in RTA. We'll see. Also the Light Sulfate, Mihail gets a buff here. Now it gets a 1-turn immunity to allies with full HP. Okay, sure. Not bad. Wind Anubis, Ayunu. Now when it comes back with the passive, it uses the skill 2, which is actually the hard-hitting skill on the enemy that killed you. So we may be seeing Ayunu make somewhat of a comeback on siege defense. I don't know. With Fuki being nerfed as the main Wind Bruiser, Ayunu could take his place here. But then obviously he can be countered by anything that just, you know, prevents the revive. But we'll see. Ayunu could be something. Then Skydance is also getting a buff. Except my Yanhong, what the hell, man? Fire Sky Dancer, Hwahi, Pride Will Fall, decrease the defense for 2 turns with 30% chance. It does 6 hits, now 30% chance per hit to defense break. I don't think that will go up with skill ups, I doubt. But should be getting a defense break. Could also be something for a siege defense, as we'll see later with the leader skill that she gets. And then Dark Sky Dancer also getting a buff now, 20% attack power boost instead of 15%. It was really hard to tune to 15%, but 20% is not much better, but you know, it is actually 33% more. So yeah, that is a decent buff there as well. We have Water Vampire buff as well. So now the skill 3, yeah, I'm glad they put it as is, because no one knows what the skill 3 does. Because he is so bad, dude. No one knows what it does. So you used to attack enemies up to 5 times, depending on your HP status. Damage also increases as your HP decreases. I actually don't know even which way this went. So if you were lower HP, would you do more attacks, and then you also do more damage? Or when you're lower HP, you do less attacks, but more damage? So it like kind of balances out. I don't know, but like no one cares. It's garbage. No one used it. That's why it's getting buffed here. So now it's going to be attacking the enemy 5 times always. Always 5 times. That is a lot of hits, dude. As we all know from Nikki's skill 3, additional damage with 5 AoE hits is kind of crazy, dude. That is kind of crazy. Free to play Nikki? Maybe. You know, now we just need a self-attack buff. Well, we didn't get that though. And always lands are critical in the fire monsters, with each attack having a 20% chance to decrease the defense for 2 turns. But hold up now. We don't need self-attack buff when we got self-defense break. Damage increases as the enemy's HP status decreases. So not only do you always hit the 5 times, so you're great for additional damage, you also have a 20% chance. Okay, 20% chance to decrease defense is not very high with 5 hits. Like you may even not get the 1 defense break. Like it's kind of likely you only get 1 defense break with 5 hits. And then you also increase the damage as the enemy's HP status decreases. So if you do get a defense break, the following hits are actually going to do more damage because of the defense break, and more damage is the enemy is going to be lower. So I think Water Vampire may actually be something now. Obviously, it kind of requires the opponent to be out of immunity for this to cleave them, but this could be a pretty nice cleaving skill. Not quite as strong as Nikki, I don't think, but could be very, very fun. Paired with a Nikki, maybe. Yeah. But yeah, we have the Wind Vampire also getting a buff, increased damage by 15%. This is on the skill 3, Death Blow. And you also leave a branding effect for 2 turns with a 20% chance. That's a really low chance considering you only do 3 hits, but okay, you know what, more damage, why not? And then Dark Vampire also getting a buff, removes beneficial effects, so 85% chance from a 75% chance. I don't think this chance goes up with skill ups. So having 85% chance is kind of nice, or maybe it's 100% chance. I don't think it is though. And then also Light Vampire getting a buff. Now the passive, if you kill it with the passive, you actually cleanse everything. Could be kind of nice because obviously it like gets targeted first, and then you can just like kill all the allies by hitting that unit with like a Diana or something. Kill with the dots. Now when it dies, the dots are going to be cleansed, but you can still like have it at a 1 HP where the dot kills it, right? So no, I don't think it's a crazy buff to the vampires, but they could see some more play. Yeah. Magic Knight's also getting a buff here. The skill 2 of the Water and Dark, that defense breaks, now goes 70% chance. Okay, cool. Dark Magic Knight Gravity Shot. Skill 3, 4 turn cooldown. Cool, no one cares. Yeah, I don't think these are really gonna do anything. We can kind of just ignore that. Magical Archer, these are all... The rest of the buffs are actually for the Magical Archers. There's the random 3 stats getting buffed, and I don't think these actually make any changes, really. So now, if you are weak against the element, you stun them for 1 turn instead of sleep. The other 2 are staying the same, so like stun instead of sleep, I guess it's better, but like you need to not glance to get that first of all, and then you need to not get resisted, so then you're probably going to put accuracy on these. Maybe you will, I don't know, but I don't think that's very useful. Then the water magical archer getting a higher chance to stun by 10% from 15 to 25, and you also get 50% damage increase if they are stunned, as opposed to I don't think you no longer the damage increase occurring your defense. So but no one's... I actually didn't know this was in the case. The damage increase occurring to defense. Wait, what the water magical archer was defense scaling when it's like the attack type unit? I'm pretty sure it's attack type unit, but yeah, I don't think this is going to make a difference. Fire, hell flame arrow, I've been pretty sure this is a skill 3, higher chance to get dots. No one cares, we have a bail. Like no one's gonna care about this, dude. Then the skill 2 is also the AoE slow, and it goes 75% chance. Who cares? This one actually maybe people care about. The Wind and Light skill 2, which is the speed scaling skill, damage by approximately 14%. I don't know why they have an approximate now. I guess it's because it's based on the speed and attack. So like they had to balance that out to make it approximately 14%. But this actually could be kind of nice. And then also Light Magical Archer is getting a damage buff on the skill 3 as well. I don't know if you guys have seen, but there has been a guy in RTA who actually used the Light Magical Archer. And the skill 3 is so that if you don't get the stun with the skill 3, you get an extra turn. So you can actually like nuke 2 units with the Light Magical Archer. And both these nuking skills are now getting more damage. So this is not bad buff to the Light Magical Archer. And then Fami, which no one has, also gets the damage buff. And then Dark Magical Archer now gets a higher chance to ignore defense by each beneficial effect granted to yourself, but they also the damage adjusted according to the effect change. So I believe this means they're nerfing her damage. I'm pretty sure this means they're nerfing her damage, because it's way easier to obviously have beneficial effect on yourself. You just buff her up, since it's like a damage dealer anyways, and then you one-shot something. So now you get that defense, now you get that ignore defense like guaranteed. I believe it's a 30% chance, so if you have 4 buffs, you will get a guaranteed ignore defense. I guess 4 buffs is quite a bit. You have what, speed buff? Speed buff, attack buff are like the... Or like, attack buff, obviously. Maybe like immunity or shield if you use with Mr. or Fran or something. I don't know. But getting 4 buffs is going to be kind of difficult. Maybe speed buff, maybe crit buff. I don't know. If you use like, with the fire Chun-Li, that has the crit buff, speed buff on... And then maybe, you know, attack buff, some other buff. I guess you could do it, but then yeah, they're probably nerfing the damage, is what this means, I would assume. So I don't think it's a very useful change there. But then we have some juice here. That is it for the buffs and nerfs, but we have some juice here on the awakening effects and whatnot. So the Trinity now awake as a crit rate. Okay, step in the right direction. Now we just gotta make Trinity base stats or make Trinity a attack type unit. Come to Us is almost there. Almost there. And you know what? They finally did buff Trinity. Trinity was like the only unit that has never been touched since the dawn of time. So Trinity finally getting a couple buffs here. And yeah, this is a step in the right direction. Like I said, all they need to do now is make Trinity an attack type unit. And Trinity is actually a pretty solid unit, you know? They're also changing Sekhmet Awakening to attack speed. So Sekhmet now has 114 base speed. You know, I mean, it's pretty fast, but they're like, Tritons are faster. Ashers are faster, so it's not like the fastest unit in the game, but it's pretty fast, so getting that turn 1 reset is going to be easier. But if you're going to be playing here for turn 1 reset, I think like an F9 is probably better to like get the stun. But I guess you can proc out a stun, you can proc out the reset, but then like the reset is like if you get resisted, you're kind of useless unit. That's been the issue of Sekhmet. Like she does it, yeah, her skill 3 doesn't go on cooldown if you miss, but then like you already lose the game if you miss turn 1. Like it doesn't matter the turn 2, so you kind of need to build her on Vio. But then, like, on Bio, you're not going to outspeed anything, so it's like, maybe you outspeed some Bio units with this, the base speed buff now. I don't know. Could be useful. I'm probably going to be trying her out at least. And then, probably the craziest thing in this whole balance patch, Kraka, Dark Hell Lady, no longer weakens the resistance, but strengthens the Shatter skill. It removes 1 beneficial with 50% chance. This is probably the craziest skill 2 in the game now. Yeah, I can't think of a crazier skill 2. This is an insane skill 2. Not only do you have a multi-hit, you have a AoE defense break. An AoE hit, I guess, at that. You have a 2-turn defense break. Now you have a strip. And you gain attack bar per critical hits. Oh my god, this skill is stacked. This skill is stacked. Like, you're obviously going to be cycling this a lot. So getting those strips are going to be kind of easy. You can also strip into defense break. Like, this is just AoE stripping the AoE defense break. Are you kidding me? Yeah, Kraka, I think this is the craziest change out of the whole patch here. At least buff-wise. Maybe nerf-wise, you know, the Lulu nerf is bigger, or the Onimusha nerf. But this is an insane, insane change here. And we also, that's not all. We have Archangel. All of them are getting a 5 base speed buff here. As well as the Skydancers. Water Skydancer now having a speed lead. Could be pretty good on siege defense. I've seen a bunch of my guildies already 6-starring Miyangs out here. So Miyang could be used in siege defense. Obviously Karkan getting nerfed, so like having new options there is kind of nice. And then also Fire and Wind Skydancer are getting leader skills. I love how Come to Us is so inconsistent. They give Water Skydancer Miyang a 4.5 leader skill, but then they give the Fire and Wind one a 4-star leader skill. Like 33% in Gilcon, this is actually a 4-star leader skill, but then 28% speed in Gilcon, this is a 4.5 leader skill. And then obviously Yanhang and Walyung have their 4.5 leader skills for Arena. And Also, Chloe, now her leader skill is being changed to 20% speed. So actually becoming more budget Pontos. 4% lower than the Pontos. I guess she gets a 3.5 leader skill. So 4% slower than Pontos, but yeah, pretty nice. Pretty nice. And then finally, I guess we have the Dark Sky Dancer. There's changing the wording. It used to not say how many hits it is, but now it says that it's 4 hits. So yeah, that is it for the balance patch. But overall, this is an awesome balance patch. I was not expecting anything from this balance patch, as I said earlier, due to SWC being right around the corner. But Condu's actually made a bunch of changes. I think this is going to be changing the meta, not only in Siege, but in RTA, and even in Arena, maybe. Even in Arena. Like, this is a huge, huge balance patch. And if this is going to be what's going to be happening every 2 months, I am really, really excited, dude. I'm really excited. But thank you guys for watching this video until the very end. If you enjoyed it, if you want to see more patch reviews from me, make sure to drop a comment, leave a like, and subscribe to the channel. Other than that, I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.